Hello guys, what's going on, and welcome to a random map game here on Arabia. This game was actually sent to me via the ZeroEmpires forums, and I had a quick look at it earlier on, thought it was fantastic, so I'm going to cast this one right now. So yeah, let's introduce the players. You probably haven't heard of these guys. I'm not sure what their ratings or anything like that are, but over to the very left of the map here in the blue, we've got Serenity94. He's playing as the Teutons. And over to the far right of the map, in the green, we've got Shager Arg playing as the Vikings. Off to a pretty bad start, let's be honest. I don't know what this guy's doing. He's not looking for his sheep. He needs to send his villagers out to look for them. So judging by the instant kind of, what is green doing reaction there, I guess these guys are the highest rated players. But it should be a good game nevertheless. He's playing as the Vikings. I don't know if I mentioned that, but yeah, Vikings on Arabia. Not ideal, is it? And definitely not off to an ideal start either. Blue here definitely getting off to a little bit of a better start already with an extra population villager and taking some food. Green may have a little bit of a difficult time here actually getting some food in, so definitely off to a pretty tough start, but yeah, I am looking forward to this game. So as I mentioned before, this game was sent in via the ZeroEmpires forums. I've been banging on about this for a while now, but you know, it would be awesome. It would be absolutely awesome if you haven't already, if you could go and sign up on the forums and you'd be able to submit your recorded games for me to cast, just like this game, which was sent via the forums. It's just a great way of me to be able to interact with you guys outside of the YouTube channel, and it's also a great way to submit games and to run events and tournaments and things like that. There will be a ZeroEmpires tournament coming up very soon with a $100 prize pool at least, which all of you guys may be invited to. Wink, wink. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a great place. We're going to build a really great community there, and it has a lot of function as well, above and beyond that of what YouTube can offer. So, anyway, do that. That would be great. Link in that in the description as usual. So, off to a little bit of a dodgy start for both of them. Serenity there with a little bit of a dodgy ball or something like that. He's found his second ball though, and he is going to be able to scout out everything. Now, let's have a look at their maps and kind of see what it's looking like here. Well, Serenity's gold's pretty bad. He's got all three in a row, absolutely miles from his town centre, which is not ideal. You know, having gold right at the front, it's never cool. Left side, very easy to wall though. Right side, very easy to wall as well. So kind of redeeming, that's kind of a redeeming factor for him, that he's able to actually wall off left and right, and maybe he'll be able to take that gold a little bit easier later on. But it's definitely not nice, let's put it that way. Green's map, equally bad, I'd say, actually. You know, gold right out here on the front, on this hill. Second, third gold right out on the front as well. And it's not ideal. And it seems like Green hasn't had much experience luring boars either, as he brings in his second boar in a pretty bad position. Blue as well on his boar now. And 19 population, 20 population. And yeah, these guys are a little bit slow in terms of upping time and all of that, but nevertheless, Blue here taking some stone, and well, 6 villagers on stone. He's playing as the Teutons. Teutons tower rush incoming. It pretty much adds up to that. Teutons fantastic for a tower rush because they get murder holes for free, which means the tower can attack at its base, which is a really strong bonus in the early game. Now, obviously, if you are playing as any other civilization, you won't get murder holes until you have your university. And it means that if you build a tower and your opponent sees it, they can run at it with their villagers and they can take it down. And it's not a problem at all because the tower can't attack the villagers. However, if you're the Teutons, you just put up to 10 villagers inside of a tower, so a little bit of extra protection, and they can fire at the base, which means that if you try and bum rush it with your villagers, the villagers will probably die. So the only real way to counter a Teuton tower rush is to counter tower, which means putting up a tower yourself before your opponent manages it. But there we go, Blue up to the fuel age. His villagers have arrived just in time. He's got a very weak economy, very little food coming in. In fact, he may struggle to keep villagers coming out after a while. But the first tower is going up, and he's got 6 villagers on the stone. So his aim here is to be able to keep building towers and try and do some big eco damage to green. Now, it's always a risk, because obviously you've got 6 villagers building forwards, which means they're not taking any resources. And it's also a risk because at home, your villagers are taking stone, and that's not really useful to you if you want to go up to the castle age. So and also, stone is just not very useful for making military. So it's very risky to do a tower rush. Often it does not pay off, but we will see how blue does here, and if he manages to do enough eco damage to green to make it pay off and to make it work. So he's putting up towers out of range at first, and then he's just going to start to circle in, obviously preventing green from taking very important resources. Right here, his gold is covered, his forward gold is covered as well, and although actually, he doesn't have stone either, because that's going to be covered as well. So basically, blue has put himself into a fantastic position by doing this, because green is not going to be able to take these important resources to even counter tower as such. So definitely makes it very difficult. However, green is taking advantage of his extra food, his deer back here, and his sheep, which he hasn't found yet. I'm sure he'll run into them eventually, to send some scouts over to blue's base to actually try and do some eco damage back to him. And he's actually doing the right thing. You know, he's not the best player. He's definitely, you know, lacking a little bit of speed, that's for sure, but he's doing the right thing, and that's what's fantastic to see here. In fact, both of them are executing the strategy well. It's just that they're not doing it at such speed that a top player would. So these guys definitely do have a strategy here, and it definitely does work. You can see blue in a good position, starting to pressure green down, and green responding perfectly by sending these scouts back to blue's base to try and do some damage right back at him. And he may just pick off this villager. They are running back to the town center, and he's not going to give chase, but this is obviously going to be a pain in the ass for blue here. You know, he's pushed off of wood now. He needs the wood to build more towers. But in the meantime, he's building towers in range of this wood camp over here from green, and that's pretty nasty for him because, well, he's going to lose villagers to it if they stay in range. That's really bad. At the back, green trying to get some villager kills on blue. He's getting up one as he runs towards the TC. And now look at blue's economy. It's in absolute shambles. He's had to ram up a barracks here to try and get some spearmen out. And, you know, typical kind of, you can see the panic. You know, he's desperately tried to wall this stone up so he can keep the towers coming out, and you can tell that the panic is there because his villagers are idle. He hasn't managed to retask them yet, and that's really bad. He's going to lose another villager here as well by the looks of things, and equally, green is not looking so good either, as these towers are now surrounding his town centre, preventing his escape from the front, and, well, preventing him from taking wood here, which means that green has had to take or build a new lumber camp. So, green's trying to build some farms back here. Obviously, the area at the front of the town centre is out of bounds now. He's not going to be able to build farms there because the towers will be in range, which will make them either be destroyed or mean that the villagers can't collect from them. So that's a real pain in the ass. And will green get another villager? That will be well, the answer will be no. That scout's gonna die. But yeah, he's done a good reaction. He's forced blue to build, well, I don't know, 3, 4, 5 spearmen here, as well as quite a bit of palisade. So I mean, that's quite a big cost. And blue hasn't retasked his economy yet. He's still not sent all those villagers back to work. And of course, that is pretty costly. He has got 6 villagers idle in this tower as well, which does mean that he is not, you know, making full use of his villager time. Now, you know, a tip for anyone out there who is, you know, may have a good strategy but may be struggling in terms of speed and all of that stuff, keep pressing that idle villager hotkey. You know, every time you hear the TC, like, villager creation sound, press H to go to the TC, press full stop to jump to an idle villager, or tab if you reassign your hotkey, and that way you just keep on top of it and make sure that you don't have idle villagers all over the place. I mean, we can see he's got a good 4 villagers here that are just idle, and, well, they could be bringing in resources and doing a lot more for him. He's also building a lot of palisades here. Like, these palisade walls that could be a little bit more efficient. He could build them, or he could rebuild the lumber camp as well, which would reduce walking distance. But also the palisades costing a little bit of wood to build them all the way around. But he He has done a little bit of damage to Green. Green's trying to get his economy back up and running by building all these farms back here. He did find his sheep as well, which is nice. And he's still managing to take some wood also. But Blue now closing in as he sends these villagers forward to build some more watchtowers. And this is going to be pretty deadly because these villagers will be in range of it. And Green has not reacted yet. And in fact, Green does not have enough stone to build another tower because he doesn't have access to stone anywhere. The stone here is out of reach, and the stone here has probably not been scouted. Oh no, it has been scouted, but he's not taking it. So this tower gonna get right in there. That's one dead villager already, and we may see more as well if they do not move out of the way. Oh, that one's down too. So that's even more dead villagers. Green gonna have to retask some of these villagers away. Otherwise, they are just gonna stand here and literally be arrow fodder. As they get really, really low. Now, one thing that Blue could do in this situation, and one thing that a lot of top players will do if they do a trush, they'll back it up with some spearmen and things like that, because, I mean, you can see a lot of these villagers, or quite a few of these villagers anyway, are on quite low HP. A couple of spearmen would be able to just chase them down, and actually, you know, really do a little bit of extra damage and finish them off perhaps as well. So that's really, really important. And wow, these guys running away into more arrow fire and getting picked off as they do. So yeah, Green gonna run to the hills, and he's abandoned. Where did he abandon? I mean, his farms are still going for now, but abandoning that lumber camp. Another tower going up there as well for him, for Blue that is, and more villagers just being whittled down here. That's another dead one, and it's starting to get very costly for Green now. It's starting to get very costly. I don't know how many villagers he managed to kill of Blue. Blue's still with idols though, so definitely not ideal. So yeah, this tower rush being pretty effective so far, and we're seeing a lot of dead villagers. Green is not reacting very well at all, and more towers coming in now. And oh, this is bad. This is very bad for Green. The reason being, this watchtower is going to cover a lot of that farmland, and these farms costing 60 wood each does mean that is a huge loss of wood, and something that is, you know, really worrying for Green at this stage, because he's lost access to this lumber camp over here. He's had to move his wood villagers away, and now he's lost all of these farms. Now, in a normal situation, that would be a worry. Unfortunately for Green, he has got 1,400 wood in the bank. So, yeah, he's not going to worry too much. He's got plenty of wood stored up. Which brings me to another thing. If you do see that your resources are getting too high, if you have one resource that's 500 or more higher than anything else, then spend it or redistribute villagers. So in this situation, Green's got 1,000 something wood. He should spend that, and he's going to spend it by putting up an archery range. But he could also redistribute some villagers. Maybe that's, you look at that and you think, okay, I've not got any gold income. I've got very little food. Maybe I should task some of these villagers away from wood and instead put them on another resource, such as food, gold, or even look for some stone to take as well. But yeah, as I was saying before, a lot of these villagers very low HP. A couple of archers from Blue here, a couple of spearmen even, because these are so far from the TC, would do a lot of damage, and it would probably get quite a few kills as well. So more and more towers coming up for Blue, definitely getting that good surrounding, the surround on the TC there, which is going to be really horrible for Green to deal with, as all of his villagers will get whittled down as they come out of the town centre. But Green now with that forward archery range, taking a little bit of gold as well, which means we could see some archers, and he's starting to build some skirmishers. Now in this situation, he's got 5 villagers on the gold here. He should be making archers. There's no reason at this stage to be making skirms. We know that Blue has some spearmen, so I mean skirms or archers are going to do good damage to them. But going archers is a much better choice because they do more damage to villagers, and also he's got the gold, he's got the wood, he really needs that food. When you consider back at home, these towers are now covering all of his farms. You've got to bear in mind that for Green at this stage, food is going to become a big problem, and in making archers you can save some food by not having to spend it where you would with skirms. So that's definitely something to bear in mind. And also, with all of that wood in the bank, another archery range. There's no reason not to put another archery range down now, if he's going for this feudal pressure. So we've got a little bit of a fight going on here, a little bit of a trash fight. Spearmen going to come in, and these skirmishers should be able to do enough damage here to kill the spearmen off. You know, they get an attack bonus against them. You know, they only have 2 attack, but the spearmen will take more than 2 damage, so they're going to die very quickly. But skirmishers aren't going to be so effective against vills, and we will probably see that very shortly. But I'm going to speed things up slightly because I think this game does go on for a little while. Bringing in some scouts now as well, and green just trying to hit back at blue and get some more eco damage done. But look at this, all of these towers now completely surrounding this town center, and the tower's just gonna keep coming up by the looks of it. More villagers gonna die from green, and well, he's gonna have to either run them away or something. I mean, he's 36 population now. Blue on the other hand is on 34 population, so I mean, green has kept these villagers coming out, and he's also doing good eco damage still, hitting blue's eco a little bit. And you know, blue really needs to work on his idle villagers, keep tapping that idle villager hotkey, and you know, it's what, 30 minutes into the game, this berry bush still hasn't been taken. You know, he really could be doing more to keep his villagers active here. But I think that's something that comes with practice and it comes with experience. The more you play, the less likely you are to panic. I know when, you know, if you've not played for a while, for instance, and you get rushed really quickly, you just start to panic and you can't keep on top of everything. That's definitely what I think blue is having the issue with at the moment. And oh well, green's TC is gone. It's out of here. It's completely gone. So what happened there? Well, green deleted his TC. He was like, right, that's it. This place is doomed. I can't leave this place without getting villagers picked off. So what did he do? He deleted his TC. He is going to build a new one right out here in the middle of nowhere. I don't know why. He started to take some stone at the front here, but he's building his TC here. It's a very interesting location. I'm not sure why he's building it there. If you're going to build a TC, try and build it next to some important resources. I mean, this is literally in the middle of nowhere. You know, even the nearest wood line is not a good one. Maybe building a town center at the front here would be good, because if he builds it here, his TC would be covering this gold, and it could even help him to push blue forwards, a bit like you would do in perhaps a Persian douche. So for green, I think building that TC there is a bad choice. The only plus side, I guess, is he's got a lot of room for farms around it, and he should probably start putting some farms up because he has got 1,400 gold in the bank. So let's be honest, blue's tower rush has been very successful. You know, he's even caused green to delete his town center here, and that is fantastic. That has worked. So what should he be doing now? Well, at the moment, he needs to look at his economy. He needs to really you know, either think about going Castle Age or dealing with this forward from green and starting to make some more military himself. At the moment, he has put up a stable and he's starting to make some scouts. You know, he's struggling, I think, to get gold at the moment as well, which is obviously a big problem. So he needs to push this back, and you know, he should be able to do that with scouts. To be fair, we can see a lot of skirmishers coming out from green here, so making scouts would be good. And these villagers, they could certainly be tasked to something. You know, they could build a lumber camp here. They could, you know, even take this gold at the front. They could do something over here instead of standing around and being idle. I don't think he knows about the villagers in the corner, which is, you know, fair enough. You don't expect them to be there. But yeah, I mean, these villagers should be doing something at this stage, and at the moment they are doing absolutely nada. So we've got a lot of scouts coming out for blue, which is obviously costing him a lot of food, and well, still a lot of idle villagers, which should be tasked. I keep going on about this, but it is really important. I mean, these 6 villagers here, spending wood on walling them in, you know, taking a little bit of gold. He could use these 5 villagers over here, these 6 villagers over here, and do the same. But look at this. He's found the wood. We know what's going to happen next. He's going to go for a tower. But is he? Well, no, he's not. He doesn't actually have the stone to do that. So these villagers are still standing around being idle. Not really a lot going on. And green, yes, green has finally started to make some archers here. This is why blue's in a bit of a tough spot. They are going to get right into that little crevice and start, well, whittling down on those villagers. 1 down already, and that's going to be pretty bad for blue. He's losing a lot of economy, and you know, he's been suffering quite a lot with his eco this entire game. He's on 44 population, and green is on 48. So yeah, it's not ideal at this stage for blue, to be honest with you, even though his tower rush has been so successful. This area here, it's all farmland now, and green is starting a new colony, starting to recolonize that area, which is fantastic for him. Fantastic for him. But yeah, blue's in a bad spot because he's just lost so much eco now. However, these scouts should be able to start to bring it back a little bit, though green's starting to pump out some spears, which is definitely going to cause a few problems. Obviously, spearmen being super effective against scouts, and blue there losing quite a few scout cavalry. He still hasn't dealt with these archers either, which is a little bit bad for him. And, well, there we go. He's going to try and take some stone so we can actually build a tower with these villagers over here. So this game's pretty fun. You know, it's not the highest level game in the world, but it's certainly fun. And I'm actually really enjoying this. So at the moment, you can see Blue's really struggling with his eco, and he has been for a while. He can't build any more farms. He doesn't have enough wood income. And it's mostly just because he's got idle villagers. They've not been working when they should be working. These guys over here, as I said, they could have built a lumber camp and started to take some wood. I haven't really been watching their economy upgrades, but I'm assuming that they don't have some as well. So green actually getting the score lead, and even though he had to delete his TC and rebuild it, he's doing great. And I think blue here, yeah, gonna stick up that tower and try and finish these villagers off. Try and finish them off. He probably will get a few, to be fair. I mean, a lot of these are on very low HP. And that tower is going to go up. And if he garrisons, it will do a little bit of extra damage as well, which is great. But obviously, no fletching. In fact, I don't think either of them even have a blacksmith yet. Which means that there's no fletching going on. No upgrades at all. And that is not ideal, to say the least. But it's also not the end of the world if your opponent doesn't have them anyway. Obviously, in a more higher level game, fletching would be coming in for green a lot earlier, and he would be making a lot more archers to well, one-shot these villagers in eventually. But yeah, green's going to kill even more villagers here. Blue's just going to get whittled down. There's another one going down on the right side. This one here is going to go down as well, and man, 34 population for blue, 55 for green now, though he will lose a couple more as these villagers try and finish them off. At this stage, you've got to ask yourself, is it worth building another tower here? It's probably easier just to go and punch these women in the face. Not that I condone that, but it's really a waste of this tower at this stage for blue here. He should probably just build a lumber camp and start taking the wood. For green as well, you should have definitely moved that lumber camp up. Don't forget to replenish your drop-off points if well, for the wood, because the walking distance really does start to add up after a while. So green now is going up to the castle age. Hey, he's going to make it up to castle. Blue's still feudal now, and he's not going to get castle for some while, I don't think. You know, he's still making a lot of scouts here. That's costing him a lot of food. He has got the gold to go up to the castle age, but he's got hardly any food income now either, because, well, he's not got any farms. So his economy's really just gone to shit, to be honest with you. And, well, castle age for green, I think that's going to start to spell the end of the end. Let's be honest. Castle Age versus Feudal Age can be brutal. Green's got a pretty decently sized army here as well in comparison to what Blue has. So once some upgrades come in there, that's going to be really deadly. Blue are going to lose a few more villagers, and as well as that, I imagine from Green we will see some knights or something along those lines, because he has got these stables back here. So knights would work. But yeah, I mean, you should be looking to get that crossbow upgrade very quickly. There's no point messing around. Get the crossbow done, get some siege out, and start to take these buildings down. A few defensive towers from Blue, which are actually being a lot more effective than they should be. Obviously, if a tower is firing at you, get out the way, because they will kill you. But these villagers from Blue here still idle, and that's a real shame, because, I mean, they could be contributing so much. When he's only got 33 population, and 6 of those are idle, or 5 now, I guess, or 6 over here. When 6 of them are idle, that's a real big deal, and it's very costly. So Green at this stage, he should be spending those resources. He should be getting some crossbow done. This crossbow upgrade, and he should be getting some blacksmith upgrades as well. I mean, these knights fully unupgraded at the moment, but with knights out on the field now, and Blue having holy walls, I think this is the end of the end for for blue. He's really not. He's done the damage in the feudal age, but he's not seen it through. He didn't continue to pressure. He let green escape. He let green rebuild. And well, knight's now coming in, and it's 63 population to 27. Poor old blue here, probably going to get finished up. But green still just taking all that arrow fire for no reason. I don't know why. But he's sitting under these towers. Knight's getting whittled down. And of course he doesn't actually have any blacksmith upgrades. If you are doing knight raiding, of course, remember, the 5th of November. No, remember to get the defense upgrades on the knights. It really helps them out in the long run, as they will obviously be able to withstand a lot more arrow fire as well. So that's really good. Blue's just trying to get his eco rolling again, but let's be honest now, it's not looking very likely. I'm surprised this scout has managed to kill this knight. For some reason, that knight attacking the palisade wall. Not sure what's going on. And, well, I'm just waiting for some siege from green to start rolling in. I mean, blue should pretty much know it's over at this moment in time. Green's sticking up a 2nd and 3rd TC. You gotta wonder, is it really worth it? You know, at this stage for green, it is so obvious that blue is not going to withstand this. He's still feudal. No point putting up that 2nd and 3rd TC. You may as well just stick a, you know, stick a siege workshop down, make more knights, and just win. Or blue should just realize it's game over. I don't know. Blacksmith upgrades so vital though. I can't stress that enough. Green here losing a lot of HP on these knights for, well, he could save it. He's not. There we go. Gonna get a couple more villager kills. And I'm just waiting for... Siege Workshop, finally. There we go. Gonna get the Siege Workshop up. Scale Barding Armor coming in. A little bit late. But this is what I was saying at the start. You know, these guys, clearly not the best players. But I think they know what they need to do. You know, they have an idea. They kind of understand the strategy. And this is a good place to start. Because once they have more experience, once they play more and more, they're going to be able to take those strategies and they're going to be able to, you know, do them faster and refine them. And, you know, green's got the right idea. He's making knights. He knows he needs to get the defense upgrades. He's just very slow to do it. And that is something that will just come with practice, as I say. So, Berserk's coming out. Good old Zerks from green here. He's got a castle somewhere. Oh, there it is. Right back here. I was watching Resonance 22's stream last night. There was a guy making Berserks on that. And he was Resonance was saying about how building a building all the way back here and then walking your units across the map, it's not ideal. So don't do that. Don't build your castle all the way back here and then send your units forward. Build the castle here. Why not? I mean, it would be in range of the TC. It'd probably take it down as well. Just food for thought. But the Zerk's coming in now. Unupgraded, of course, but Rams to back them up. And I imagine this is it now for green, for blue even. Green putting the nail in the coffin of that fantastic game. Obviously, it wasn't the usual. It was definitely a lower level one, but I know you guys asked for it a lot, and I actually really enjoyed that. That was a lot of fun. The tower rush was fantastic, let's be honest. I mean, he did do a great job. Green deleting his TC, that was just golden. Rebuilding it over here in the middle of nowhere, but, you know, he came back from it, and we all love a good comeback, whatever level it is. So very well played by Green there. He did make his comeback, and eventually took the game after what I think a lot of people would struggle with after a tower rush. So, yes, if you have any games you want to send in for me to cast, as I say, it doesn't really matter what level it is, as long as it's an interesting game, then post it on the forums, link in the description below, and there may be a chance that I will cast it on the channel. So thanks for watching, guys. As usual, I've been Zach. Hopefully you enjoyed this one, and I will see you next time.